What's going on, you guys? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for a brand new review of Megan Thee Stallion in her own words documentary. You guys, what is going on? I hope you guys have had a wonderful Friday, and I've had a wonderful Friday. I'm just glad that the work week is over for me. I am off tomorrow, and we are gonna celebrate Jamar's birthday tomorrow. We are gonna have a good time tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna celebrate, honey. Okay. So let me see. So we're here to talk about the documentary, but before we do, let me let you guys know what we got coming up because I don't want to get distracted with everybody trying to text me right now. So tonight, Bell Collective returns, okay, and y'all do know that I'm gonna go live right after the show, and I should have a guest, which is Alexander Rogers. Okay, he should be coming in with me to review this show tonight, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be hella hilarious if he's going to be in the building with me, helping me review this show. I might go get a drink. What y'all think? I might give me a little bit of alcohol and get drunk or just a tad bit or whatever. So because this gonna be funny. But yeah, just make sure y'all tune in for that. And then being that again, we are celebrating Jamar's birthday tomorrow, so I won't be doing my review on Love and Marriage Huntsville tomorrow, but I will definitely be doing it on Sunday morning before I go to work because I work late tomorrow, Sunday. They got me working from 11 a.m. to 7. So I'm gonna get up around 9:30, 9-ish, and do it around 9:30 and be done by 10:30 so I can go to work. So yes, I already got it planned out. We'll be here on Sunday, easy like Sunday morning for the Love and Marriage Huntsville review, okay? And then on Monday, no, and then on Sunday, of course, is the Real Housewives of Potomac. And then on Monday, yes, we will be back for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. And we will be over on Sakina's page, but I won't be there because I'll be back in Mississippi to go vote. I leave out on Monday because I got to go vote back home. So Sakina will be hosting it and Busy should be in my spot on Monday. So make sure you guys tune in, all right? So with that being said, that's pretty much all that we got for the church announcements. So we're going to go ahead and get into this review, which is Megan Thee Stallion in her own words, the documentary. It was on Amazon Prime. And honey, it is number 1 already on Amazon Prime, child. I'm just telling y'all, if you've been watching me, y'all know that I really do. I fuck with Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all know that I was covering her court case and stuff like that against Tory Lanez and stuff. Y'all know I was covering the case up until the verdict came out and everything. So y'all know I do fuck with Meg. And y'all know that I was gonna watch this. Y'all should know I was gonna watch it. I don't know if y'all know how much I really do fuck with her, but I was gonna watch it. And I watched it yesterday. Up until the Chasing Orlando reunion came on, and then I came home from work today and I watched it again. So it could be fresh on my mind. And I want to say that this documentary had an influx of emotion. It was a lot of different feelings and the way that it was shot. And it's like it started off right at the very beginning of her career where we get to see her mom and we get to see her early relationship with Kelsey and people like that was in her life. And I felt like it was like amazing. You feel what I'm saying? So it all starts off with Meg. She's in front of the camera and she's saying that she's deciding to cancel all of her shows due to her having a breakdown. And sometimes you have to do that, right? Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to think about yourself and think about what's affecting you and think about, what's really going on because, sometimes we can get so far into our crafts and work and stuff like that to where we are breaking down and we are having emotional situation right now and we see it happening but we choose to ignore it and just keep on working because we feel like if I just throw myself into my work then everything will be fine. It might take your mind off of it, but after a while it's still going to be a whole lot on your plate. Like you can't ignore that shit for too long. Like you really got to take care of yourself and your emotions because it's just like for me, I know for me that always has been my tactic. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I'm going through stuff, so I'm not gonna sit around and you don't want to sit down and wallow in it either, though. You know, you want to keep yourself busy just a little bit, but you do need to realize that you may need some time to sit down. Even if it's just one day or two, you need to sit down and figure it out. You feel what I'm saying? So I understood her canceling her shows. There was a lot going on. We look at to Megan graduating from Texas Southern University. Now, if you remember when Megan first came out, mainstream wise, she was talking about, you know, how she was in college still and how she was still pursuing her degree from Texas Southern, right? And she was saying that she was so happy about, you know, graduating, but every time she goes into Houston, all it does is make her think about all of the loss, her father, her mama, her grandmama, you know, everything. And I see that. You know, like she's been through a lot of shit. She's lost a lot of people. And sometimes when you go back to a place where you knew these people, where you met these people, and you know how these people had a big effect on you and where you come from, you know, it can be a lot. It can definitely be a lot to go back to it. You know, like she lost some of the most important people to her. And like going back to Houston probably don't do nothing but depress her. And I feel like that's what going back to Canton does for me already. And I've only been gone for 2 months as of yesterday. I've been gone for 2 months. And now sometimes I dread going back home because of the things that I ran away from. So I can only imagine how she feels. You feel what I'm saying? Um, She said that growing up, her mother was a gangster rapper. She would sit in her living room, listen to instrumentals, write her raps down, and you know, Megan will watch her do it. She'll hear her recite these raps day in and day out, and it made her want to do the same thing. You know, she just watched her mama do it, and she was like, "I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Like, I want to write my raps. I want to spit on a microphone and blah 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 blah." You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, her mama was her inspiration. You know, her mama probably was a, you know, like she said, her mother was a gangster rapper. So I'm pretty sure that her mother, her inspiration probably was like UGK, Scarface, all these different Houston rappers and Houston talent that was out. Because if you didn't know, um, Scarface was one of my favorites because I used to love his song. One of my favorite songs by Scarface was it was Mary Jane, and then the collab that he did with Tupac, Smile. That was my favorite, as well as I Seen a Man Die. So I was a big fan of Scarface, and not to mention, I grew up on Scarface too, because you know I knew all of the verses to Smile just a little bit. You know, well I knew him, you know, I knew him, but you know sometimes I forget him. But you know, now as I open up my story, you're raising your blunt so you could pick the stars slowly with the phrases I wrote, and I can walk through the face in the dun. I often wishing I could say to be one, but I'm a dreamer. Have you ever seen a nigga who was stronger than pain? Overlooking his tomorrows in the violent game. Okay, don't get me started. Stuck inside a ghetto fantasy, hoping to change, but when I focus on reality, we broken and chained. Yeah, love, love Scarface. But yeah, so Megan used to get picked on in school for being tall, being a tall girl. I gotta tell y'all, kids are the most cruelest people you can never find. If you want somebody to hurt your feelings, get a child to do it. Kids are cruel. Kids can be so motherfucking mean that it don't make no sense at all. They can be mean as shit. Okay, kids can be mean as hell. I promise you they can. Um, let me see. So her father was in jail for the first 7 years of her life, right? And then he finally got out. And you know, she was a daddy's girl. She loved her dad. Just like she loved her mom, she loved her dad. Like her dad was her everything. But then he died when she was a freshman in high school. He died of a heart attack. And I think that's where she really began to feel what loss really was, because that was her daddy and that was somebody that she loved. And that's when she created Megan Thee Stallion after her dad died. So I remember when Megan was rapping on YouTube, right? One of my best friends named Robert, he was on her music. He was on her back then. See, I was in my little stage where I didn't want to give nobody else no chance. Like, you know how I feel about these new artists, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, girl, I ain't trying to hear that. Cause back that was back then when she was rapping on YouTube. And then my best friend was like, man, you need to get into this girl, Megan Thee Stallion. Like, she spit fire, she spit fire. And I should have known that I should have listened to him, because just like me, he was a musical person. Like, me and Robert can sit there and talk about music all day, whether it's pop music, whether it's rap music, whether it's R&B music. We sat there and we sat there and wrote songs together. Like, he's just as musical as me. So I don't know why I didn't take what he said and just listen to what he said. But she was doing raps on YouTube. She showed her mother her YouTube video of her rapping, and her mother was intrigued by that. So her mother took her under her wing and started training her and started letting her know what she needs to do as a rapper and how she needs to be as a rapper, and just took her under her wing, so to speak. Like, that's just basically what she did. And you could tell she was hella involved in it. Her mama would allow her to be Megan Thee Stallion. She'll film the little videos of her rapping outside of gas stations, and she'll tell her, you can twerk better than that, or you can rap, you can spit better than that, like, do it better than that. Like, I always pushed her to be the best. And I really feel like Miss Holly, because I know that people prefer Megan's early work, like Tina Snow and Sugar and Fever and shit like that. And I think her mama was instrumental in those first few projects that she released. And I really feel like if Miss Holly was around, Megan would be, although Megan is a superstar at this point, I think that she would be even bigger, and her music would be a lot different if Miss Holly was still around. Because it just goes back into it, like, Miss Holly was the one that was behind like a lot of the stuff that she did at the beginning. And that's some of the music that a lot of the fans really, really appreciate. Um, and it just shows, because we see her mama, she's in the studio with her, she's telling her how to emote on the records. Like, you got to say it like this, you got to say it like that, you got to flow it like this, you got to do it like that. And I was just like, I was sitting in my bed and I was just watching it. And I was just so in awe of the process of Megan making her music with her mama, and how her mama was so instrumental in it. And her mama wasn't like a Sonya Norwood or, Usher's mama. Like, she was a different type of mama. And I believe she was a different type of mama because she had aspirations to be a rapper too. And she understood the business. She understood the artistry. She understood the image. She understood the lyrics. She understood everything that came with the package of being an artist. And sometimes you need a mentor that definitely understands what it is that you need. And that'll really push you and that'll really help you out. Sometimes I feel like I need a mentor. Sometimes I feel like I do. But this ain't got nothing to do with me. But I just said that because Megan had a mentor that really understood her. Like, completely understood her. So Big Old Freak came out in 2019. Big Old Freak was the song that I heard that made me want to get into her shit, right? So I remember it plain as day. I had just turned 30 that year. I had just turned 30. I was in a relationship with Daniel at the time. And I was so stuck on that song. Like, Big Old Freak was my shit. Like, I felt liberated listening to that song because I consider myself a big old freak. You know, it made me feel comfortable with just talking about my innermost sexual desires as a gay man and shit like that. Like, I never really been a sexual person publicly, but on the inside, I'm just that. Everything that she was rapping about, I'm like, that's the type of time I'm on. You know, I was feeling Meg, and then, you know, everybody knew the song, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling her. I'm liking her. I'm feeling this. You feel what I'm saying? And it went everywhere. And in the midst of the success of Big Old Freak and the way that her name was ringing bells for a little bit, Miss Holly learned that she had a brain tumor. Something within my spirit feels like Miss Holly already knew that she was sick. Because how could she? I'm not gonna say how could she not know, but it just feels like she knew. Um, she knew that she was sick, but her primary focus was to help her daughter make her dreams come true. She wanted to mentor her daughter and make sure that she got to where she needed to be. And she was going to do that until she couldn't do it no more. And that's exactly what she did. She did it until she couldn't do it anymore. And I never knew how her mom passed because, again, I wasn't engulfed into Megan Thee Stallion at the beginning. I didn't start really getting engulfed into Megan and her music until because like I said, Big Old Freak it was the beginning for me. That's when I started liking her. Then Cash shit dropped and stuff like that. But I really started like becoming a fan when Savage came out. That's when I started becoming a fan and getting into her. So I did not know how her mother actually passed. So learning that she had a brain tumor and also learning that Megan had to make the decision to pull the plug on her mama was the most craziest shit in the world. And I just watched my friend do the same thing with her mom this year. And her mom was like my mom, okay? So I can only imagine how Megan was feeling at that moment when she had to do that. Like, girl, for real. That's a lot for anyone. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, could you imagine rapping, losing your dad at the very beginning, and your mom is all you got? Your mom believes in you. Your mom is pushing you. Your mom is helping you with your sound. Your mama is putting you in places that you didn't think you can go into. And once the fame begins, the vessel that you had is gone. And she said that once her mother passed, she lost herself and she lost her confidence. And not only did she lose that, she left Houston and she never went back. And it goes back to what I just said. Her mother was a big part of her earlier projects before Good News. She was a part of Tina Snow, I think Fever, Sugar, all those. She was a part of all those things, I believe. Her mother was instrumental in those things. Being that she was instrumental in those things, she gave Meg that confidence. She's the reason behind her sound. So it makes a whole lot of sense to lose that confidence because your mama was there to get that in you. This ain't gonna work, Meg. You got to do this. This ain't working. She was the one that pushed her in the right direction. So of course she lost herself in her sound. And I see that when people lose their mothers or parents in general, things change for them. They are not the same people that they were before they lost their mom. And sometimes they change for the better, and sometimes sometimes they change for the worse, and sometimes they have to go through a whole lot of things. Like sometimes people use that death as an act of strength, and then sometimes people fall and they don't know how to get up when they fall. So even though her mother just passed away, 2019 became Megan's big year. Then next year, they was asking her, is there a certain somebody you want to do a song with? And she was like, I really, really, really want to do a song with Beyonce. I really want to do a song with Beyonce. So during the pandemic in 2020, Savage came out. Big song. That's a song that really made me get into Megan. And it was already a big song, but then Beyonce hopped on it after the TikTok dance started. And the song went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Okay. So it became this big record. And not only did it become this big record, but she won a Grammy for that song. I think 2 Grammys for that song, as a matter of fact. It was a big song. I think it was her first #1 record before, because I think it came out right before WAP did. So it was her first #1 Billboard Hot 100 record. And then we get into her friendship with Kelsey and Megan's friendship, right? And Kelsey had been her friend since 2013. You know, her and Kelsey were very close. They were like sisters in a sense. Um, I think that it was very sad to see their relationship and see what is gonna be. You know, how it led, because they did seem like they were very close friends. Like Kelsey was in her music video, all up in the videos. She was all up in the videos, being very close to Meg in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? Like I could see them. Like I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna say they reminded me of me and Jamar, nothing like that. I would never say that. But I do think that they were close. And they seemed like they were very close. You feel what I'm saying? Um and it's kind of sad when you see where it happened, where this friendship ended up at. Um Even though 2020 started to become the worst year of Megan's life, and we all know why. When Miss Holly passed, she was all over the place. She was hanging out with everybody and they mama, and she would keep getting lit, keep getting drunk, thinking that she would get over the pain. And that's what happened. She she um she was alone at that point. She didn't really have nobody at that point because her mama was gone. And that would have been a person to let her know who was really there for her and who was riding with her for the right reasons, and not just trying to ride off her fame or ride off of the things that she was doing for herself. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I was taking from it. And she was rocking with so many different people at that time, just getting drunk, hanging out, getting drunk, going to parties, fucking around, doing, excuse me, doing all of those things. And I just feel like when it her mother died, then her grandmother died, and I feel like when when you're going through a big loss, and not only are you going through a big loss, but you're also in a mood of transition, like you're transitioning in life at this particular point, like you're trying to um make certain moves in life. You're on the come up and you're on the rise. And then this is one of those times where, you know, you learn who's really around you for the right reasons and who can stand the test of time while you're going through your change. You know what I mean? So sometimes, sometimes people cope with big losses with different things, or they cope with certain pains with certain things. Like Mary. Mary J. Blige is one of my favorite singers of all time. Y'all know that. She used to cope with her pain through cocaine and weed and stuff like that. She said it. Whitney did the same. I cope with my pain by writing. I cope with my pain by speaking. I cope with my pain by isolation. Meg coped with her pain with drinking and hanging out with people all the time. So that's what she was doing. And you know what I'm saying? That's a hard place to be. And you feel lonely at this particular point. And you just hanging around anybody to keep you company. And you do know that when you're that vulnerable and you just lost somebody that was near and dear to you, and people see that that affected you in a certain type of way, baby, that is when the snakes come out. That is when the vultures come out. That's when people come out and really show you what they really made of. And they're going to really show you. They're going to show your ass that I'm coming to get you. I see that you're vulnerable. I see that you ain't got nobody right now. You know what I mean? I see that you ain't got nobody at this point. So I'm finna fuck with you because I know that you're at a vulnerable state and I'm finna fuck you up. That's exactly what happened. It's on Amazon Prime, Janika. It's on Amazon. So make sure I hope you got an Amazon Prime account, honey, because that's where it said it's on Prime. Um, what's next? So then she starts talking about her friendship with Tory Lanez. She said that during this time, they began to bond over the deaths of their mom because he lost his mama too. And they became friends with that whole situation. Again, trauma bonding, not really realizing that Megan not realizing that he really ain't what she think he is, but she got somebody who understands her pain. And sometimes um you can meet people who understands your pain and been through some of the same things that you went through, and you connect on that. Sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes people can use that connection to their own advantage. So she talks about the night that she said that she lied and said that she stepped on glass. And at that particular moment, George Floyd had just got killed. So she wasn't trying to, get nobody, out or nothing like that. She was trying to protect everybody. But then when she went to the hospital, the doctor said that there was bullet fragments in her foot. And she blamed herself for ever trusting him in that manner. As victims, we sometimes find ourselves blaming ourselves for what happened to us. Y'all know that I recently came out, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, and revealed that I was sexually assaulted 4 years ago. And I said that sometimes I still blame myself for what happened to me because I chose to go to that house and I chose to see what this man wanted with me and I chose to do whatever. And I chose to put myself in a situation because I didn't think that he would do anything to me because I was friends with his because I'm friends with his brother. So I blame myself and still blame myself for the entire situation. I felt like I put myself there. So a lot of the times when we're going through stuff, um, sometimes when we're going through stuff, it's like um things happen to us, and instead of blaming the perpetrator, um we sometimes blame ourselves because we chose to trust these people. And she thought that Tory was her friend. She thought that Tory was someone who really, really cared about her. And for him to be the person to pull the trigger, you feel what I'm saying? It was just ridiculous. So I understood. I understood where she was coming from with that. Um, they played Tory and Kelsey's phone call. He was apologizing. He was asking Kelsey, you know, could she help him get out of this situation that he's in? And she agreed to. Then 2 days after that, Meg said, Tory and Kelsey were meeting up. Tory thanked Kelsey for not talking. He offered her some money and he offered to invest in her business. While Megan was in the hospital for days and had to get the shells removed. And she just wanted to move on quietly. Like, she didn't want this to be a public situation. And we all know that it was very public, but she didn't want that's not what she wanted. She didn't want it to be that way. But it turned out to be that way. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, I can only imagine. And what I don't like about discussing this is because I'm bringing this up now because this is the part where we're at, right? I don't like talking about this because the first thing that people want to go to was the fact that Megan slept with Tory. Megan slept with Tory. Megan slept with Tory. And, that was her friend's man. Tory was not Kelsey's man. Tory and Kelsey were never a couple. Kelsey said that on the stand. Kelsey said that on the stand. And Kelsey had a whole man. Didn't Kelsey get pregnant months later by the man that she was with at the time of the shooting? We need to stop spreading misinformation. Tory and Kelsey were not boyfriend and girlfriend. They was not a couple. That was not her damn man. Now, has something was something going on between the two? Was there like a situation where Tory probably was fooling around with Kelsey or something like that? Who knows? Or it was a pass around situation or something between, Meg and Meg and Kelsey passing him around. Could it be that? Or could it be, Tory was fucking Kelsey first and he started and on a drunken night he was fucking Megan too. You know, I don't know, but that wasn't her man. And I ain't saying that Meg was right for what she did because I ain't gonna never go up for that situation. I'm never gonna go up for nobody sleeping with nobody, I'll never go up for a friend sleeping with somebody that their friend was sleeping with because somebody did that shit to me. So I would never go up for that. I just want to make it clear that that wasn't her man because that makes it sound even worse off than what it even is. Like, oh, that was her man. Like sometimes y'all make it sound like Tory and Kelsey were in love. They was in this loving relationship, and all of a sudden Meg just came in and took him from Kelsey, and that ain't even it. That ain't what happened, child. That's all I be saying. That ain't what happened. But I just feel like this. I'd never understood because I was watching Armand's listening because I was at work. I was listening to Armand's recap of this documentary earlier today. And when he said she doesn't understand why Meg is ever disappointed in Kelsey when she slept with Tory, and you fucked her man or whatever. But why would she ever stand, because he was basically saying, why would she want to stand beside Meg as her best friend when she was betrayed? Understood. But if she not gonna stand by Megan, she don't need to stand by Tory either. In that same deposition, didn't she say that Tory put hands on her too? Didn't Tory do harm to her as well? So why is she standing beside him, taking up for him, talking to him on the phone while Meg is in the hospital? If that's the case, she shouldn't be fucking with neither one of them. Because Meg ain't the only one that betrayed her. Tory did too. So why even fuck with either one? Why stand beside either one? But what I will say is that when my friend did that, it like I told y'all, my friend did that same shit to me. He slept with a nigga that I was fucking with at one point in time. Yeah, I was fucking with him 2 years before he was, but he knew I used to fuck with that nigga. He knew that, and he went around and he did it anyway. He fucked them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I didn't appreciate it. However, if we was in this situation and I found out at that moment that he was fucking a nigga that I was fucking with already, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna stand beside the nigga that he was fucking with. Because at the end of the day, that's my best friend. So no matter what we got going on, this nigga really don't matter to me. We got years, and even after this whole situation is over, I'll probably still not fuck with your ass. But if I know that we sitting up here fighting about did harm to you, I'm never not gonna be by your side on that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I couldn't. I could never stand beside. I could never stand back and watch my friend, although I'm mad with this nigga, nah, I can't do that. That's why I can't sympathize too much with Kelsey. Although Meg was wrong, but I just didn't like how that played out, how she chose to stand beside this man. He harmed her too. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I feel. WAP dropped and went straight to #1, and everybody was mad at Meg and Cardi B for dropping that song. And I never understood why they be so mad at the people like Cardi and Megan. But it's not just about it being Cardi and Megan. It's about it being a woman. Y'all, because they did the same thing when Lil Kim came out with the hardcore album and she was on a thing like this. You know what I'm saying? They did the same thing to Kim. However, it's okay. You don't get backlash for niggas getting on records talking about how they gonna fuck a woman till doing all kinds of stuff. You don't hear people giving backlash about all the little misogynistic ass rap records that male rappers make all the time. But when a woman talk about being sexually liberated or talking about what she wants from a man and how she wants to be pleased by a man, that's looked down upon. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I personally never have seen anything wrong with it because it's music. What examples are you setting for young people? I always tell everybody, I ain't trying to be no example. I ain't trying to be no role model. Because when you trying to be a role model and when you trying to be this big positive example, you always fall short and you forget that you're a human being. If you gonna look to me with all my flaws and look at the things that I've done that ain't been right and make that be a lesson for you to not do what I did. That's what I would want to be for somebody. You know what I mean? I don't want to be no damn role model. I ain't trying to be no Cosby show ass nigga that ain't me. Don't nobody want to be that. But however, I'm just saying, I didn't understand what was the big deal with WAP. It's a record for the club. It's not a record for you to play at the White House. If that's not your type of music, then don't listen to it. What's wrong with a woman talking about her sexuality when men do it all the time? Plows came out and had all kinds of songs about sucking on pussy and shit like that. R. Kelly made sexual records all the time and no one batted an eyelash. But when a woman do it, it's a problem. Like Adina Howard, I can go back as far as Adina Howard with the Freak Like Me stuff. Like, what's wrong with that? I could go back to Salt and Pepper when they was being sexually liberated. They was a little bit more classy with it though, and not too much, you know, overtly sexual, but they were feminine and all those things. But it is what it is. So I don't understand. You know, Salt and Pepper made it okay for a woman to take a man home if she wants to. Like, remember the record None of Your Business? You know, what was Spin's verse? I'm just here to say that your double standards don't mean shit to me. Okay? Every move I make, somebody's clocking. But I wish you just leave me alone. And they worried about the nigga I took home to bone. Okay? Like, if I want to take a guy home with me tonight, it's none of your business. And if she want to be a freak and sell it on a weekend, it's none of your business. Okay? So, that's how I feel. Um, California started pressing charges on Tory, and that's what began the backlash, right? Everybody started coming down on me. I never forget it. I was still Mr. Still Standing in. I ain't become Scotty by Nature till October of that year. But they were going in on Meg. They were dragging the shit out of Meg. Especially the male artists, the male podcasters, they were all going in on Meg. When Meg was not the one that pressed charges on Tory. Tory got a charge because he had a gun that he had no business having. But that's the part that everybody forgets. She didn't press charges against him at all. That happened because he was doing something he had no motherfucking business doing in the first place. But okay. Um, she said she was disappointed by Kelsey. She said that she didn't give a damn what they was arguing about. She would never ever had stood beside Tory if she was in a predicament. And I believe her. No matter what happened, I don't give a fuck if me and Jamar argue right now and I see somebody doing something to him. First of all, I would never even allow nobody to do nothing to him because that's just not, I ain't that type of dude. Like everybody know, like I ride with that bitch. Okay, everybody know that. So I wouldn't even allow nobody to do nothing to him. First of all, but if I said and I know what happened, you think I'm not gonna speak on my motherfucking friend behalf? Are you crazy? That's 11 years of friendship. You think I'm never gonna speak up on his motherfucker? Got me fucked up. Okay. Um, what happened? Um, she just felt like Kelsey didn't have her back. in that situation, and she felt like she should have. And then that was the Gayle King interview, and she said that everybody hated her, and I feel like she, I felt her pain, and I understood that. I understood how she felt, and I understood why she felt like everybody hated her because in hindsight, if you looked at it from a society standpoint, or if you looked at it from a social media standpoint, everybody hated Meg. It was the popular thing to do to hate Meg. All these different bloggers hated Meg. All of them took out the time to go in on it. We don't all think the same. Sleep with a guy I'm sleeping with also, and we're no longer friends. Yeah, I might take his side over hers as get back. I'm sorry. Okay, I respect your thought process or whatever, but that's ridiculous to me because he was just as wrong as your damn friend. So what you taking his side for? He made you look like a fool just like your friend did. So I don't and it goes right back to the shit that I don't understand. Like, why is it that we let the man get away with everything, but we stay mad at the home girl? Like, yeah, she wrong. Hold her ass accountable. Hold her accountable for what she did. You should hold her accountable. Hold the homie accountable for what he did. Hold them accountable. They should be held accountable. But if it's up to me, I ain't fucking with now one of them. I ain't fucking with now one of them. You feel what I'm saying? Not now one of them. So it's like, I'm not finna take the side of this nut ass nigga either. He knew we were friends when he decided to fuck me or fuck you or whatever. He knew. So why am I taking his side of in any type of situation? You can get your get back on this person in another way, but to side with the person that fucked your friend is crazy to me. I'm sorry. I can't do that. But the bloggers were dragging her. You had Tasha K, you had Milagro, you had Black Tea Blog, I believe. They were dragging the shit out of Meg at one point. You had No Jumper, I think Adam 22, maybe, Fatademics, Joe Button, all these different male podcasters and some women, they were all like going in on Meg during this time. Like, some people really, really were dragging them. That was their prerogative. So please, me calling out some of these names, that don't mean I'm dragging them, because you know how people would like to take some shit that you done said and make it into something big. I'm just telling you what I saw with my own two eyes. These are my eyes, and if you don't like it, you can pluck them out and give me two more. Okay? In the words of Nene. But yeah, it seemed like everybody hated her. If you look through the comment sections on the Shade Room and the Neighborhood Talk and its own site and all that other shit, it was nothing but hate mail for me. Nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. So then Megan began to second guess herself due to being villainized for being sexually liberated. She feels like because she does talk about and she does talk about sex a lot and men in her records, that um gave people the right to judge her and look down on her and even doubt her story. Um Megan felt like if her mama was there, she wouldn't know none of them damn people. And her drinking and fucking was the worst thing she could have done. And that was real shit. I really believe that I really believe that if her mama was alive, she probably wouldn't even be in these predicaments. Now, I don't understand why people are using this Gayle King soundbite as news. We already know she lied to Gayle King. Clearly on the stand, she admitted to having a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We know that. This ain't news. And you got fuck boys like Ralph Pittman, Kirk Frost, two misogynistic niggas who don't treat their woman right at all. All they do is shit on their wives and have babies on their wives and doing stuff like that. Of course you're gonna sit up here and take Tory's side. I don't even understand why y'all even making this her fucking Tory a topic of discussion. Who gives a fuck if she fucked Tory? I'm sorry. I know it may sound like I'm getting into one of my little moves, but I'm so sick of everybody talking about the fact that she fucked Tory. She fucked Tory. So the fuck what? She still got shot. So because she fucked him, does that mean that was the right, her getting shot was the right thing to happen to her because she fucked him? Stop making this all about her fucking Tory. She fucked him. So what? She lied about it. So what? It's a whole lot of niggas that I would never admit to fucking. Shit. She told the truth where it mattered, and that's on the damn stand. Because if you ask me about any motherfucker that I don't want to claim, I'll be just like this. Yeah, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch, just like she said. I'm so sick of everybody making this about Tory Lanez. I remember having sex with a dude one time, and I was like, don't you tell nobody this happened. Because I swear to God, if you tell anybody that this shit happened, I swear to God, I'm going to deny it to the top of my lungs. I promise you. I'm going to deny it to the top of my lungs. Taylor, I don't care if it's in the documentary. I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying that the only thing that people are taking from this is the fact that she fucked Tory, not the fact that she got shot. And it ain't got nothing to do with the documentary. That's what they've been doing all along, even when the case was going on, baby girl. That was getting on my nerves before there was even talk of a damn documentary. That was getting on my nerves when she was taking a damn stand. Because that's all they made it about. They were all making this shit about who she was fucking, as if that mattered at this moment. It don't matter. That's what I'm saying. These folks did not care about who shot her. All they cared about was who she opened her fucking legs to. That's my point. And they're doing it now. As you can see in this documentary, that's the only thing these people are talking about is the fact that she gave Tory some pussy when she shouldn't have. That's all they're talking about. Never mind the other stuff that we learned about Meg. Never mind that. All we're gonna do is take this little sound bite of her admitting to lying to Gayle King, although we already knew that she lied to Gayle King. But we as the bloggers, we're gonna take this and rev it back up and make this some news, even though we knew that this was news 2 years ago. She started working on Traumazine, which is, in my opinion, her best body of work. Megan starts to break down, and Lorianne was giving Megan a pep talk. You know, Megan was ready to give up, but she didn't. Then Meg said that Tory texted her. He said, I'm watching you on live. You seem sad. Basically, you're taunting me at this point now. You're taunting me. You're taunting me. You're taunting me with this shit. You're taunting me with it now. You're making rap videos about me. You using horse legs and you're chopping them off in videos, and everybody's taking your side and they think that it's funny. And no one's saying anything about it. No one's saying anything about it now. They're laughing at a woman, a black woman that I defended tooth and nail. But I'm a woman hater. I just had to throw that in there. Anyway, the baby brought her out right after her set on Rolling Loud, and that is one of the reasons why she don't fuck with the baby no more. I wish she would have got more into the shit that he did to her too, because I wanted to know more about that. And as you can see, he's a nobody at this point. After Rolling Loud, Megan got the key to the city in Houston. She performed at Saturday Night Live. And after she performed at Saturday Night Live, she disappeared and went to a wellness retreat. And then her cousin visited her. And then after that, she learned about the charges and she cried. And she cried and she was happy that he was, getting what he deserved and all those things. And I just want to say that this whole thing, this whole documentary, it was good. I feel like I know a lot more about Megan than I came here with, because I never just dug into her personal like that. You know, I am more of a musical fan of hers. So I listen to her music. Like, I don't be that much. I wasn't that invested in her personal life like I was with like the Marys and the Monicas and the Kays and the Keisha Coles of the world. Like I was very much so invested in their lives and wanted to know what was going on with them. But it was a good documentary. Um it's a good way to reintroduce herself in this new era of life that she's in. It's a good way to let the people know exactly what she was going through in real time. It was great. And I love Meg. And just to see her growth from the very beginning and how she started and how it led her to be where she's at this particular point. It's amazing. And it's inspirational, if you ask me. It's inspirational. You know, her story about being picked on at school. I was picked on in school. I was bullied in school. I talk about how that affected my whole life all the time. Like I was bullied in school. Um, it was just all those things. So, I was more so into the music person. I recently you know, for a long time, I had only listened to like Traumazine and Good News and Something for the Hotties. Like those were the only ones that I really had. But then I went back and I had gotten like Fever and Sugar and shit like that. I had got all that too. So, and Tina Snow, and great work. But I do think that Traumazine is her best body of work in my opinion. But I do think that I do feel like that at this particular point, she just shown that you can defeat the odds and get to where you want to go. It's very inspirational. Hell, it gave me some inspiration, to be quite honest. It honestly did. Like if you really watch it, it will probably give you the same feeling. But y'all, I'm about to get up out of here because bill collector come on in about 23 minutes. So I'm gonna see y'all later. I hope you guys enjoyed my review on this documentary. I really hope that I did a good job with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I enjoyed talking about it. And yeah. So I will see you guys on the next video. I'll see you guys at 9:05. Me and Alexander Rogers. I gotta send him this link. And talk to y'all for Bill Collective. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.